Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. So the signing that came from nowhere has finally been completed and successfully successfully underwent his medical, successfully announced, and it's done, man. We finally have our guy Fabio Vieira. So after the 30-second countdown, we will go through what our first impressions are of the guy and what to expect from him. So let's go. Finally, guys, we have announced the new signing of Fabio Vieira. This time, though, we didn't have to wait that long. Usually, we have already waited for like 5-6 weeks before we hear the signing of someone. But this time, we really didn't have to wait for that long. It's just been like 4 or 5 days since we first heard about this guy, but it has finally been announced. It feels like ages because when we had he was going to do his medical, it was like 4 days ago. But this one did not take a lot of time at all. And let's see. I hope you guys can hear me first of all. Yep, you can hear me. So let's see what Arsenal had to say about this guy. And as always, hit the like button and comment down below. Welcome to Arsenal, Fabio Vieira. So let's see what Arsenal had to say about this transfer. So as you can see, welcome Fabio. Fabio has joined Arsenal from FC Porto on a long-term contract. The 22-year-old midfielder who made 54 appearances during his time with Porto developed through the Portuguese club's youth academy, making his first team debut in June 2020, and was part of the Premier Liga winning squads in 2019-2020, 2021-2022. As usual, don't forget that he has won more trophies than Tottenham. That is very important to remember. Fabio is a Portuguese under-21 international and has scored an impressive 13 goals from his 21 appearances. He also represented his country at youth level, playing all 5 tournament matches as Portugal finished runners-up at the 2019 UEFA Under-19 Championship. During last season's Premier Liga winning season, Fabio made 27 appearances, scoring 6 goals and making 14 assists during the league campaign. That is a lot. That is a lot of returns, man. That is a lot of goals and assists. Technical Director Edu said, "We are so pleased to have completed the signing of Fabio from FC Porto. Fabio is a player with special qualities who is comfortable with the ball in the final third of the pitch." Things you love to hear, things you love to hear. We are all looking forward to working with him and enjoying his future contribution to Arsenal. We will now continue to work hard and are looking forward to finishing this transfer window as strongly as possible. Really, hopefully, man. This is the second signing. Hopefully, it is the second of like 10 signings if we can get all 10 players through the door. 6 to be fair. 6 is what we need. Please click here or blah blah blah. Mikel Arteta added, "I am very excited that we have identified and signed such a special talent. Fabio is a very creative player that will bring high quality and versatility to our attacking play. We welcome Fabio and his family to the club and are looking forward to starting our work with him ahead of the new season." Fabio will wear the number 21 shirt and join up with his new teammates soon for preseason training. Who was the last player to wear the number 21 for us? Was it Callum Chambers? Callum Chambers was the last player to wear number 21, right? I don't remember who else wore that number. But yeah, for the guys who are asking which number he will be wearing number 21. And obviously they go on to say, "Everyone at Arsenal welcomes Fabio to the club. The transfer is subject to the completion of regulatory processes." So that is the latest on Fabio Vieira. We finally announced him. This has been one of the quickest deals I've ever seen Arsenal doing. Like on Thursday, we first heard about him. On Friday, he was in London already. On Saturday, he was undergoing his second part of the medical. On Sunday, obviously, as usual, and Monday, Arsenal were trying to milk it. I'm pretty sure they already signed him by Sunday, but the Arsenal Twitter admin, the Arsenal Instagram admin, they would milk it a bit, try to make us wait. But finally, we have gotten our man. So what is the first impression about this guy? I'm hearing a lot of people saying that he looks a bit tiny. Do you really mind that he looks a bit tiny? I saw someone saying he looks a bit tiny, like he's not strong enough for the Premier League. Now, I'm not sure I can agree with that. There's a lot of tiny players in the Premier League. Podence at Wolves. We've had the likes of Wilshere playing for Arsenal. I mean, we've had young, smaller players playing for Arsenal before. So it's not a shock at all. Let me see what you guys have to say about Fabio Vieira. Obviously, a lot of people want the other players. Obviously, I do expect that, but hopefully, we do sign at least one of them before the end of the week. Hi, Shane. Jonathan says that's awesome. Congratulations. Evan says that's awesome. Welcome. Ghana says Simon. Hi, morning. People already asking about Gabriel Jesus. We'll come back to that, promise. Congratulations from Patrick. Grassi asking about Martinez. Welcome to Arsenal. Fabio watching live from South Sudan says Kingsley. Arsenal, please sign Martinez from Ajax. That guy is good. Congratulations, the Gunners. Always Arsenal says Caleb. And Jade says, good move. We are still expecting more like Jesus and Rafinha. Definitely, this is not enough. You still not signed a striker yet. You can't go into the season without a striker. Jesus, I do expect it to be done by the end of the week, probably. I can't see us carrying it beyond that. There's no other that many strikers on the market to sign. So if you miss out on Jesus, you have to start looking again. And I don't want that. The benefit of signing this player this early on, he can now get to know the players. It's just June. The preseason has not yet started. The holidays are not yet over. This guy can go now and train with Arsenal during the preseason, get to know Odegaard, get to know the likes of Smith Rowe and all those players. Very, very early signing is what we need. Early signings is what we always need. Paradise is happy as well. That's awesome from Sam. Watching from Uganda says Caleb. Welcome, says Abidan. Congratulations from Gabriel, from Murphy, and who else? It's great news, says Katuma. Very great news. This is one of the quickest Arsenal transfers I've ever seen, to be fair. If it's not the quickest, have you ever seen Arsenal doing a transfer this quickly? I'll probably take you back to 2011, the time we had lost 8-2 to Man U, and within the next one day, we had signed Andre Santos, Matasaka, Teta, Park Chu-young, and who was the other player we signed on that day? Benayoun. We signed 5 players on the same day after losing 8-2 to Manchester United. That was the quickest I ever saw Arsenal doing transfers, but how many of those players were actually good enough? Like the likes of Park Chu-young and Santos, terrible. So this is the first time I've seen Arsenal completing a transfer this quickly within the space of 5 days for a lot of money like that. That's 5 million, around something like that. So welcome to Arsenal, Fabio Vieira. So I have a question for you guys. Do you think Fabio Vieira will be playing in the Arsenal first team, or do you think he will be coming from the bench? I put that question on YouTube in the chat. Will Vieira be a starter, yes or no? If you're watching on Facebook as well, do you want Fabio Vieira to be starting our games? And starting our games means he either plays instead of Odegaard or he plays with Odegaard. And if he plays with Odegaard, that means Martinelli and Smith Rowe are both on the bench. So what do you want to see from Vieira? Do you want to see him starting next season? From the highlights you've seen, from what you've read about him, do you think he should be starting our games next season, or do you think he should be coming from the bench? Personally, I cannot wait to see him play next to Odegaard. That would be very, very good to see. Like, I'm already just thinking about it. It's giving me chills, like just seeing both of them playing together. Those numbers are not simple to replicate. Like 27 appearances, 6 goals, and 14 assists. And there's something Arsenal haven't even written there. He came from the bench in like 15 of those games or something like that. Like most of the games he was actually coming from the bench. So for him to have those returns in terms of goals and assists, we're not even starting games, while not even starting games, it's great to see. Now, at least we don't have to be worried about if Odegaard is out, we are going to have to play our youngsters from the under-23s. No, if Odegaard is not there, we have this other guy playing in that same position. Really, really good to see. So drop your comments. Welcome to Arsenal, Fabio Vieira, and let me know, would you like to see him starting, or would you like to see him playing from the bench? Congratulations from David, from Mustafa as well. Good evening, Sanchez. Lola says, welcome. Congratulations from Adeleo. This was a very quick transfer, guys. Like really, really quickly. We got this done quickly. Okay, says David. Very nice, Fabio, says Sanchez. And that's awesome. Congratulations. Adekola says, good news, but Arsenal need to act fast about Jesus and others. Definitely. That is the one I really want us to complete. I rather see us not going for 10 players in the same week. I rather see them just forget about, to be honest, I rather see them forgetting about Rafinha, Tielemans, all of those players just for 3 days and just focus on Gabriel Jesus. Try to get it done. That is what I want us to do. Just get that one done for Gabriel Jesus, and all of a sudden we are looking good for the rest of the transfer. If you sign 2-3 players already by June, then we won't be pushing those guys to where are the players, why are United signing players, Tottenham signing players, and we aren't. No. If we've already gotten this guy Marquinhos and Jesus at the same time, no one will be that no one will be frustrated through July and August. We will be patient because most of our players, most of our top targets will have already joined. So hopefully we do get them done, that Jesus deal done very, very soon. I wanted Jesus before Rafinha. I know Rafinha is very good, but we need a striker first of all. Casey says you're welcome. Khalid says congratulations. That's awesome from Moni. Caleb says I guess he should be given a chance. Then we see what players play in the Premier League. I guess that is what you mean. Okay, so for the first game, I don't think he'll start for the first 2 games, but he's coming so early that we have like 6-7 preseason games that he can get used to the Arsenal team and the Arsenal playing style, and that's the playing style. That I'll not be surprised if he starts the first game against Crystal Palace. I do expect this guy to be starting next to Saka and also Odegaard. But then if we end up actually completing the signing of Rafinha, then I don't think Saka will be starting on the bench. Surely not. Are we really going to be putting Saka on the bench, the best player in the last 3 seasons? I really don't think so, man. So I really wonder what we'll do with that squad. If we actually sign Jesus and Rafinha, where the hell will these players play? By the way, I don't care. As long as we have a strong bench and a strong team, there's space for everyone. There's definitely space for everyone. Welcome home, Fabio, says Francis. If we get, by the way, that is another part. I can actually agree with home. This is another guy who speaks in Portuguese, just like our Brazilian players. Like I told you guys to start learning Portuguese. If we don't already speak in that language, we need to start learning it because every single one of us, the Arsenal players, is speaking in Portuguese. Sean says, if we get the other players, then we will be dangerous next season. Just Rafinha and Jesus especially. That would be something, man. That would be something. Now, let's be realistic. From Rafinha, Jesus, Tielemans, and Lisandro Martinez, I would not really expect us to sign all 4 of them. That would be a miracle. If we actually go ahead and sign all 4 of them in the same window, that would be mind-blowing. So I would expect us to sign 3 out of the 4. I don't know which one you're going to miss out on. I don't know if it's going to be Lisandro Martinez. Listen, if Lisandro Martinez goes to another team, but not Manchester United, I'll be okay. But as I said yesterday, if someone like Jesus ends up at Tottenham, I'll have a mental breakdown because Tottenham signed Jesus instead of Arsenal. When we've been linked to him for the last 1 month, I'll be very, very gutted. So let's just get that Jesus deal. The one that is looking like we're going to have to wait for is Tielemans. I don't think we're going to sign Tielemans anytime this week, especially this week. No. I think we're focusing on Jesus and Rafinha first, then Tielemans later. I really like Tielemans. I really think he's going to change our midfield, but I think now that we signed this midfielder who's playing further forward and we are concentrating on the strikers, I think we're going to have to wait for Tielemans. Hopefully no other team comes in for him. Comes in for him. Barry says, congratulations, Arsenal. Isaac says, welcome to Arsenal. I wish all the very best. We need quick signing like Fabio. There's 70 of you watching on Facebook and YouTube. Comment down below. Do you expect him to be a starter next season or not? Do you think he's going to be on the bench or starter? Miracle says, finally, we are here. Welcome, Fabio. We say finally. It feels like we've been talking about Fabio for the last 4 weeks, but we've actually been talking about it for like 4 days. This has been a very quick transfer. Murphy says, I think Fabio is our starting midfielder next season. Is good to start. So starting in what position? Instead of Odegaard or together? So I've already done these videos, but since you guys are live here, let's just talk about it again because I did have some graphics here talking about where he can start. So Vieira left wing. So Vieira and Marquinhos, just ignore Marquinhos for this one. But as I said last time, if Vieira starts as a number 10, if Vieira starts there as a number 10, why the hell is this comment? Let me just remove that from the screen, Murphy. So if we play Vieira as a number 10, as you can see, we won't have Odegaard starting. If we play a 4-2-3-1, we won't be having Odegaard starting in that lineup at all. If Odegaard actually starts, let's forget about Marquinhos first. Let's replace Marquinhos with Saka in that lineup. Vieira can also play on the left side, as we said before. But if he plays on that side, it means either Martinelli or Smith Rowe, both of them will be on the bench. So if you put Odegaard as the number 10 in that squad, and then on the right side, you remove Marquinhos and put Saka, that's a very good squad. But then if you add Rafinha to that squad, I wonder where the hell these players will play, which, by the way, as I always say, I do not care. Even if we sign 30 of them, as long as we have a strong enough squad, That would be great. If again there on that lineup, replace Marquinhos with Rafinha. If you have Vieira, Rafinha, and also Saka on the right, that means Odegaard is on the bench. But then again, I said you can't really have Odegaard and Saka on the bench. Those were the two best players in our squad last season. Saka won Player of the Season. Odegaard was number 2. Will you really drop them to the bench? Odegaard actually could end up being the captain next season. I think he's going to be the captain. So I don't think you can really have them on the bench. I don't know which other formation we can play to fit in all those players, but I'd be super excited. If we sign Jesus and Rafinha, we are looking good. I saw someone saying if we sign Rafinha, we could end up selling Saka. I was like, please don't say that. But we'll have a lot of players. We'll really have a lot of players. But at least for once, we won't have to depend on all these players. For once, we won't have to depend on them. So in terms of how our squad will look, if we include every single player who's at Arsenal right now, I've left Tielemans, and let's use this other graphic. So as you can see at the moment, we do have 2 players in each position. I'm pretty sure we have 2 players in each position. Forget about the defense. We're not focusing on that right now. But if we do have Martinez and those other players, Saliba, that is a very strong team. Tielemans hopefully does join. If we have Tielemans and Jack in that role, we have Partey and Lokonga in the other one. We have Odegaard and Vieira. We have Martinelli and Smith Rowe. We have Saka. For now, I'm just going to include Pepe, but I don't think Pepe will be an Arsenal player next season. Let's be honest. I really don't think he'll be here next season. And what a shame. What a shame. I really did expect a lot from Pepe. 72 million. And at the moment, I can't see any team giving us more than 20 million for him. So let's replace Pepe with Rafinha there. And then up front, you have Jesus and Ketia. And they're talking about getting in another striker. Which other striker are we going to get there? Because if we add someone, if we actually get Jesus, Rafinha, Tielemans, and add another striker, we cannot finish below 3rd position. Let me tell you guys right away. There's no way we can finish below 3rd. You can even say you're going to compete for the title, but yeah, Man City have Haaland, so that is impossible. That team looks strong enough. That team looks strong enough. And there's so many players I didn't even talk about that are still at Arsenal. Someone like Niles is still an Arsenal player. We've signed another goalkeeper. Matt Turner is about to join in with the team. Saliba is part of that team. Tavares is part of that team. Lokonga, El Neni, all of them are part of that team. So the most players you can have in a squad are like around 26. You can't really go up to 30 because the wages become too much. But if you have around 26 players, that's 2 squads plus an extra 3rd goalkeeper and another 3 players who are just on the bench. I'm assuming that will be players like El Neni. But that team will look strong. Hopefully, we do get those players through the door fast, though. There's no need of chasing after 2 rabbits at the same time. You'll end up catching none. And we are not even chasing after 2 rabbits. We are chasing after 6 of them in the same week. So let's try and get Jesus done first of all. Ozil says, let's sign Jesus and Rafinha. Yeah, I really hope so. I'm hoping Jesus joins us fast. I really want Jesus fast, man. That is the guy I want fast. Before Chelsea starts saying they want him, before Tottenham starts getting serious about him, because you never know. Ken could just end up leaving today, and then they have a gap for Jesus, and they can even pay 70 million for him. Miracle says, finally we have Fabio. I read this ones. Fungi says, is it Fungi? Our competition to Saka, that's what big clubs must be. So who starts? Is it Rafinha or Saka? Because if you sign Rafinha and leave him on the bench, surely you cannot sign Rafinha and have him on the bench. That is a guy who has like 60 million you're going to spend and leave him on the bench. That would be crazy. But Saka is our best player. But if we have Rafinha to help him out, I'd be very happy. Sean says if Arsenal are a big club, then we should be able to sign all 4 of them. Wow. That is a lot of money. So they did say last week that we had 215 million to spend. We've already spent like 35 of that for Marquinhos and our new signing Fabio. That means we'll have around 180 remaining. If you sign Jesus and you sign Rafinha, that's like 110 million gone. You'll have 70 remaining. 70 is actually enough for both Lisandro Martinez and Tielemans, but after you sign all of them, you can't sign anyone else. But it sounds easy to talk about it, but definitely it's not going to be that easy, man. It's definitely not going to be that easy. Otherwise Benzema and Suarez would have been playing for Arsenal over the last 10 years. Gary says, big congratulations. Sean says Vieira is competition for Odegaard. He's very good as well. And okay, it depends on the fixture. Obviously, if we are playing like against Liverpool at home, you can't start with both of them. But if it's like, I don't want to say like a Newcastle because they beat us the other day. Like Burnley is no longer in the league. If you're playing against, I was almost saying Nottingham Forest as well, but Nottingham Forest always beats us as well. So let's use Bournemouth instead, the only team that is realistic to beat, because we also have them in the first 5 games. If you have Bournemouth in the opening 5 games and you're playing them at home, then you can have all these guys starting together. Fabio, have him on the left, Odegaard, have Saka, then have another striker there. Then even in the 2 positions next to Partey, you can even throw in Smith, throw in someone else, attack as much as possible, because we saw us struggling a lot against teams like Burnley at home last season. And when things didn't work out, we didn't have anyone coming from the bench, really. We only have players like Patino, like a 17-year-old coming from the bench. That's not who you're going to depend on. So if you have Saka on the bench and Smith on the bench, Martinelli on the bench, you're looking good. Sani says, what about Rafinha? They did say that Arsenal are favorites to sign Rafinha yesterday. They said Barcelona is a bit, Barcelona don't have enough cash to get Rafinha in at the moment. So if we wait for too long, they'll probably get cash from somewhere. The only team you're competing with for Rafinha is English teams, maybe 2 of them at most. And Chelsea is the team that I'm worried about. Chelsea have not yet signed anyone. Chelsea is the kind of team that can just say, you know what, we have 70 million for Rafinha, and he'll go there because they have Champions League. So that is the team that I'm worried about. I want us to get deals done before their new guy, Todd Bowley, starts signing players. Balogun says, let the coach try the tactics in preseason. Very good points. Balogun, we have preseason. That is why we have preseason, to get such things done. Any player can stay on the bench in as much you don't fit in what the coach is expected. So that is why we have preseason, to get everything done, because during the season you have no time to start trying out things. You have no time. You'll have Liverpool this week, Tottenham next week, United next week. Thankfully, there is the Europa League this season. Last season I was a bit more worried because we only had the Premier League, so there was no other game to experiment anything. You had to play your full team in the Premier League. But in the Europa League, if there's an easier game in the Europa League, then you can try out some things. But we are going to play a lot of games. Since there's a World Cup in November, usually there's like 2 games in September from the Europa League, and then another 2 in October, and then like 1 in November, and then 1 in December. Now, since the World Cup is in November, I'm pretty sure we're going to play all those Europa League games in the space of 2 months. That's a lot of games, 2 months instead of 4 months. You're hoping you have some easier teams like from Estonia and Kazakhstan and such countries. Hopefully you don't have the tougher teams like from Germany and Spain in the group. If you have like a Leverkusen in your group, then there's no time to rest players. Musa says, good evening. We can be rooting. EPL is too demanding, as we all know. Rotating, I guess that's what you mean. Good evening. We can be rotating. That's what you mean. Thank you guys for joining in. There's 100 of you watching on Facebook and YouTube. Hit the like button if you're excited about Fabio. And the question of the day is Fabio going to be a starter, or is he going to be coming from the bench? Miracle says, I really like Tielemans. He should be on that team. If you have Tielemans on that team, man, this is a really, really good guy, both going forward and defending as well. He's very good, and his English experience. He plays in the Belgian team with the likes of De Bruyne in that midfield. And that means you can even have Xhaka on the bench. I'm not a big fan of Xhaka starting, but if I have Xhaka coming from the bench for experience for the last 20 minutes, I'd be very happy with that. But I know some of you still want Xhaka to go, but as I said, I think it's time to forget about Xhaka going. I really do think Xhaka will be here until he retires. So let's just forget about Xhaka going. Bliss says Gabriel Jesus is the top target here. Absolutely. Because if we don't get Gabriel Jesus, is there any strikers you guys have in your mind that we've not been talking about? Forget about Osimhen. Is there any other realistic striker that we can actually get apart from Jesus? I heard about Jonathan David in January. It's gone quiet. Obviously, the likes of Vlahovic moved on. So is there any other striker? Because I don't see that many strikers that you can actually pay for. I don't like Calvert-Lewin because of the injuries. Let me be honest, I don't like Calvert-Lewin because of the injuries and because they want like 60 million. I'm not a fan of that. Matthias says, let us first complete Tielemans. It looks like Arsenal are not going for Tielemans at the moment. They're actually going for Jesus and Rafinha and then coming back for Tielemans. So I'm sure it's so hard for them to just go in for all these players at the same time. It's obviously impossible. I'm pretty sure it's very, very hard. Lado says, good news. Congratulations from Willie. Rafinha next. How about Yuri Tielemans? Says David, as I said, we are probably going for 3 other players before him. So I don't think Tielemans will be completed this week. I'd love to be proved wrong because we didn't know about Fabio Vieira. It just came from nowhere. Matthias says, but we need to sign players faster. Obviously, again, you can't sign all 6 players in the same week. That is why I want us to get Jesus done this week, and then they can take time on the others. Because I feel Tielemans is a good player, but you can still get other midfielders like Milinkovic-Savic from Lazio. But if you don't get Jesus, which other striker are you going to get? If you don't get Lisandro Martinez, that is fine. You can still get other left backs and centre backs. But if you don't get Jesus, where do you start again? Because Man City are willing to sign him. He wants to join Arsenal. He is Brazilian. Let's not forget about that. Remember, it is Brazil FC. Remember our new flag. We are Brazil FC. Don't forget about our new flag. So which other thing can you actually ask for? It's perfect for us to get Jesus. We don't have a striker apart from Ketia. It's just right there for us to do it. Lucky says, kudos, my fellow Gunners. More deals are coming. Arsenal all the way. If we end up signing all those players, what a transfer window, man. What a transfer window. Last transfer window was good. Odegaard was a good signing, great signing. In fact, Tomiyasu, apart from the injuries, whenever he played, he was really good. I know some of you still don't like Ben White, but I really do like Ben White. And let's be honest, you'd rather have Ben White than Mustafi in your team, right? 100%. Tavares disappointed at the second stage of the season, same with Lokonga. And Ramsdale, obviously, Ramsdale is one of the signings of the Premier League history in terms of just no one expecting anything from him and just him delivering. If we can actually top the last transfer window, that would be something. Babu, oh, nice seeing you, man. Partey, Odegaard, Fabio, or Tielemans in the middle 3. I think if you have that, I think Tielemans will be the one starting. If you have all of them, I think Tielemans will be the one starting. If you have that in the middle 3, I think Fabio will start. All 4 of them will start, but Fabio will start on the left side of the attack. That is what I think. I think Fabio will be on the top. I think Martinelli and Smith Rowe will be on the bench next season, especially if we sign Tielemans. I think they will be on the bench, which is not a bad thing. I don't think Smith Rowe has a problem with being on the bench, and he was coming on last season and scoring goals every game when he was coming on. And Martinelli can actually have an impact in the 20, 30 minutes. Again, we have a lot of games. The Carabao Cup is there, so all these players will get a chance, and you'll need all of them to be at the top of their form, top of their game. Sorry, we should be getting Jesus before the end of the week. I definitely agree with that. I do expect that to happen. I don't think they'll carry it through next week. If you carry it through next week, you're putting yourself in trouble. The moment PSG say we want Jesus, we are in big trouble. The moment they say they want him because, they can play with Mbappe, with Messi, they're going to give him 600,000 a week. We cannot compete with that. So Via says, I need Tielemans now, says Via. I need him now, not tomorrow, now. Unfortunately, Via, I don't think we'll get him now. Probably later on, man. Hopefully we do get him, but I don't think it will happen now. We need to reinforce our defense, then midfield, the midfielder that we have now. We need to reinforce our defense, then midfield that you have now. Is defense a major problem for Arsenal, apart from backup? Because I think, let me just check this squad again. Where has it gone? If we have this is the full squad, right? Yeah. So in the defense, I don't think Tavares will leave Arsenal, so he'll still be back up to Tielemans. To Tierney. He's been injured for so long, I'm forgetting his name. Pablo Mari is leaving Arsenal. I don't think Pablo Mari will join. So we probably need a backup for Gabriel because we don't have, at the moment, we actually do. Saliba with Ben White and then Gabriel with Holding there. We actually do have players, but I have a feeling Holding and Tavares, at least one of them will be leaving. I don't think both of them are staying. And Cedric is still an Arsenal player, even though most of you don't like Cedric. I don't think he was a disaster. I don't think he's the worst Arsenal player ever. But in terms of defense, I don't think we need to strengthen the defense fast. I think we need to strengthen the striking fast and then the midfield. I was even surprised when I heard we want Rafinha. I don't think wing is the worst of our problems. Yes, I'd be happy if we get Rafinha, but I don't think that is the top of our problems. But hey, who cares? As long as they sign these players, I am not going to complain at all. Bliss says we need a backup defender. Which position are you talking about, King? Left back, right back, center back? Ivan Toney is a good striker, says Moses. As a starter, would you trust Toney to come in as a starter to get us top 4? He's a very good striker, especially when he plays him and his combination with Eriksen and Mbeumo was really, really good, but he's been here for 1 year in the Premier League. So I really do prefer Jesus because he's been here for close to 6 years in the Premier League. He's won everything as well, apart from the Champions League anyway, but he's won all the top cups and he's used to winning. Please, are we signing Rafinha? Hopefully, Samuel. I'd say I'm 55% confident in that, and I'd say I'm 85% confident in Jesus, because Rafinha is because of the money, and I don't think we really need that much. We really need a winger that much. So I'd not be surprised if Arsenal just decide to say, you know what, Rafinha is going to Chelsea, fine. We'll just look for someone else later. But I'd love him to join, man. He literally helps Leeds stay up. And he's very good at set pieces, dribbling. He's like Pepe. But someone asked yesterday, what's the difference between Pepe and Rafinha? As I said, Rafinha performs, Pepe doesn't. No, don't give me that Pepe has never played for Arsenal. Pepe has played 100 games for Arsenal. We have seen him for 100 games. You can say Arteta has never given him a chance, but we have seen him for 114 games. 114 games is a lot. So I don't agree with you guys who say Pepe has not been given a chance. He's played more than 100 games. That is enough of a chance. I have never been given a chance to play for Arsenal. I've played 0 games for Arsenal. I have never been given a chance. Pepe has been given a chance. 100 games for Arsenal, more than. Even if you remove 25 of them, which he came from the bench, he still started a lot of games, man. Let's be honest. Babu O says, I believe priority now is Jesus. The Butcher, Lisandro Martinez. I really like that name, The Butcher, and it's definitely better than Debussy. Oh, guys, you remember Debussy? Oh, Jesus Christ, man. We had some awful players. Debussy. Goodness me. Terrible, terrible player. Paradise says, really, we have to get Tielemans. A lot of people like Tielemans. Canon Ford, hi, Alex, man. Make sure to go and subscribe to Canon Ford as well. It does really, really good content on Arsenal. Up to any updates on news on Tielemans. Glenn, as I read yesterday and today, Arsenal are slowing it down on Tielemans just to get the other deals done. Rafinha and Jesus first. That is what I had. So I don't know. I want a striker first. For me, I would go for Jesus first and Tielemans second and Rafinha third, because I feel like we have Saka at least in that position for now, but we don't have a striker and a midfielder. I think it is a bit more terrible for us if we miss out on Jesus than missing out on Rafinha, because which striker do you start going for again? Moses says, thanks for your updates. How far is the transfer of the Butcher? Everyone is actually calling him the Butcher already. We're expecting Arsenal to go in the second bid. The good thing is, usually over the last 10 years, we are used to Arsenal saying we want Benzema, we want Higuain, we want Suarez, we want Mvia, we want Awar, all these players. We usually want them, but we never actually make bids for them. We never actually make offers for them. We just want them. But this time we've actually made offers for these players and the teams have rejected. So all we need to do is to go in with another offer. And signing Lisandro Martinez from Ajax, that also damages Man United. Man United can't get that many players from Ajax because we just taken one from them. So it kind of removes another option for Man United to buy. So we are helping ourselves and damaging Man United. And I really do love damaging Man United. I really dislike them, like most of you. Olumosa says we really need Tielemans and Gabriel Jesus. Man, these days we have so many Gabriels, I don't even know which one you're talking about, man. We are Brazil FC. Obrigado. We need to start talking in Portuguese. I do like the sound of Rafinha coming. It would mean Pepe is gone. Oh, wow. You actually like the fact that Rafinha is coming and Pepe is gone. I have to agree, man. Listen, I'd like to see Pepe doing great at Arsenal. If he stays next season, I'm not going to be complaining, because I also don't think we'll get enough money for him at all. We bought him for 72 million pounds. If we end up selling him for 20, man, that would be a disaster. How long does Pepe have on his contract, if any of you knows? How long does Pepe have remaining on his contract? This could be another player we end up losing for free. Literally, I'm tired of losing players for free. Chelsea about to sell Breuer, that guy who was in Southampton on loan. They're about to sell him for 30 million pounds. Breuer, a guy who has never even played for Chelsea, they're about to sell him for 30 million pounds. Aubameyang left for free. Lacazette left for free. Ramsey left for free. Sanchez left for free. Ozil left for free. Literally 5 of our top 10 players over the last 10 years, all of them left for free. Like, I'm tired. Like, even Kolasinac left for free. Mkhitaryan got his contract cancelled. Like, how many players have he left for free? So, too many losses, man. Matthias says, update me on Awar deal. Awar, does it still exist? I don't think we'll be going for Awar. I think we've kind of, if I do say so myself, I do think we've kind of upgraded on which players we are going for. We left the likes of Awar behind. Frederick says we need to back up our defense, especially the right and left side. Really? Is that really the first thing we need to do? Back up the right side. I need us to sort out the striking and the midfield issues first before backing up. For if you want a backup, you can even get a backup at the start of August. You can get a backup for the start of August, but you cannot really get a starting striker in August. It's really hard when the season has already started, and it doesn't give the players time to adapt to your team. We need some senior experienced players from England like Jesus that will guard the boys, says King. Ladder says Fabio Vieira is a statement. Hope the remaining four square will come, then EPL teams are in soup. Yeah, the league is in trouble, Ladder. The league is in trouble. We need to get Gabriel Jesus first. I definitely agree. Jesus first. We need him now, not tomorrow. 2 years, says Via. Pepe has 2 years remaining. Okay, interesting. Evan says, watching from Zambia. Thank you. And congratulations to Arsenal, says David. So our new signing is in, Fabio Vieira. That is, as I said, if I can read the statement one more time for those guys who are just joining. The 22-year-old midfielder who made 54 appearances during his time with Porto developed through the Portuguese club's youth academy, making his first team debut in June 2020 and was part of the Primeira Liga winning squads in both 2019-2020 and 21-22. Fabio is a Portuguese under-21 international and has scored an impressive 13 goals from his 21 appearances. That is something we never have. Last season, Saka, Smith Rowe, and Martinelli were scoring goals, but before that, Smith Rowe wasn't really scoring goals. Even Saka, he had a very good season, but he didn't score that many goals during the COVID season. Odegaard, during his loan spell, he didn't score that many goals, apart from like 3 or 4 that I remember. And our midfield, Partey has only scored like 2 goals for Arsenal. Someone like, who else? Guendouzi. Guendouzi only ever scored like 1 goal for Arsenal. Torreira only scored like 3 or 4. Like, we never have midfielders who can score goals. So this guy scores goals. He scores more than Odegaard, so that's a good thing. He also represented his country at youth level, playing all 5 tournament matches as Portugal finished runners-up at the 2019 UEFA Under-19 Championship. During last season's Primeira Liga winning season, Fabio made 27 appearances, scoring 6 goals and making 14 assists during the league campaign. As I said earlier on, something they don't mention here from the 27 appearances, he only started 15 of those games. The other 12, he came from the bench, which makes it even more impressive. Like 12 games coming from the bench, only 15 starts, and he still managed 6 goals and 14 assists. Really, really good to see. Technical director Edu said, we are so pleased to have completed the signing of Fabio from FC Porto. Fabio is a player with special qualities who is comfortable with the ball in the final third of the pitch. He also forgot to mention that he's Portuguese, just like he's Brazilian. He speaks in Portuguese. He won't tell us that, but it helps. We are all looking forward to working with him and enjoying his future contribution to Arsenal. We will now continue to work hard and are looking forward to finishing this transfer window as strongly as possible. Mikel Arteta added, I am very excited and we have identified and excited that we have identified and signed such a special talent. Fabio is a very creative player that will bring high quality and versatility to our attacking play. We welcome Fabio and his family to our club and are looking forward to starting working with him ahead of the new season. Fabio will wear the number 21 that was previously worn by Callum Chambers. And who else? I don't remember who else wore number 21, but I'm sure Chambers wore it. And maybe you should start complaining about that, just like Nketiah and Thierry Henry. Why the hell is Fabio Vieira wearing Chambers' number? Chambers is a national legend. The transfer is subject to the completion of regulatory processes. So that is the latest. Let me take the last 6 comments and then hopefully we will be back very soon talking about more Brazilian signing for Arsenal. Steven says, I love this guy. Wasso says, any other transfer news? We are waiting on Jesus and Rafinha. Those are the 2 that we're really waiting for this week. Lisandro Martinez and Tielemans, we might have to wait longer. We need big team players or game changers. It was a problem last season, a major problem, Matthias, major. Like you're looking at City that day, that January game where we should have beaten Man City. well, we scored fast against them and they scored 2 goals in the second half. City had players like Mahrez, like Gondwan coming from the bench. And then you look at our bench, we have a goalkeeper on the bench, we have 3 defenders on the bench, and then the forward players are 16-year-olds. Like, you can't compete with Man City like that. But all of a sudden, if you have, let's say you have Saka, you have Odegaard, you have Fabio Vieira, and you have Jesus, and then you look at your bench, you have Martinelli, you have Smith-Rowe, you have even Xhaka. Let's put Xhaka on that bench. You also have a backup left back or right back, whoever you have there. You even have Saliba or Ben White on that bench. Martin is on that bench. El Neni, if you want to just destroy the game, the last 5 minutes is on that bench. Next season, it's 5 subs, not 3. You can use all 5 subs. Really, really great, man. Forever the Ghana says, Caleb, if we get Tielemans, Jesus and Rafinha will not be competing for top 4, but will be competing for the league. Paradise, things we love to hear. I know we laugh every time we say Arsenal is going to compete for the league, but man, can you just imagine if Arsenal win the league? Like when Arsenal won the league, we didn't have all this, like Facebooks, YouTube, all this. We didn't have it. Imagine if we win the league, man, during this Twitter era and YouTube era and Facebook era, man. It's going to be really good, man. I have never seen a good striker from Brazil. For me, we need someone better than Jesus. Really? Daniel says we need someone better than Jesus. Let me know who, Daniel. Maybe you do have someone in mind. Who? Who are you talking about? I mean, obviously, you're not comparing him to people like Rivaldo and Ronaldo. Those guys are another different level. Hopefully, you're not comparing him to them. But he scores goals. He doesn't even start for City, but he scores a lot of goals when he gets his chances. How about Nabri? Victor says Nabri. Oh, that's another guy reminded me. I don't think we'll sign Nabri. That is way too much money. The only way you can sign Nabri is if we don't sign Jesus and Rafinha and we spend that money on Nabri. I don't think that would happen at all. Steven says with Jesus in the front, more goals and assists for Fabio. Absolutely, not just 14 assists. He'll be totaling like 3. I remember back in the Invincible era, like between 2002 and 2006, like it was not only one player getting assists. You would find Perez with 14 assists, Dennis Bergkamp with 12 in the same season, Thierry Henry with 10. Like in the same season, you'd find 3 players with that many assists. Like all of them were assisting each other. And then you can sometimes Ashley Cole used to go forward and assist. Sometimes you never know. Reyes, rest in peace to him. Reyes would start and get the assist as well. Yumba goes there. Like we had several players who could assist, even during Ozil's era. Even Ozil, Sanchez, Cazorla, like we had several players who can assist. Like the last couple of seasons, we've been depending on only this guy. Like 2 seasons ago, Tierney, we had to depend on Tierney to push us forward. And last season, just basically trying to depend on Odegaard and Saka. Now, if you have like 2 or 3 players who can assist each other, Jesus can also play on the right side, player in the middle, players at number 10. You're good to go. You don't even really care who's going to score and who's going to assist. Then we might not have to see Gabriel contributing 5 goals because we'll have strikers to do that for us. Tajuddin says Osimhen is a little striker that we need, not Jesus. Osimhen is a lot of money. Osimhen is a lot of money, and he doesn't have Premier League experience. He's a very good striker. He's very good for Napoli and Nigeria, but Premier League experience is what I'm looking for first. Again, if we sign Osimhen, I'm definitely not going to be complaining. Bring him anytime you want. That is why I have his picture here ready. I have Osimhen's picture ready for when he joins. I'll have it ready. Hopefully we do get him, but if we don't, I'll not be sad. I'll not be sad as long as we do get a striker. I'd love to get both of them, but that is a bit impossible because of the wages and the transfer fee. Colin says, thanks for your updates. No problem. We'll love you here in Uganda. Let's wait for Jesus and Rafinha. I think this week. Hopefully, man. Hopefully, Colin. Frederick says we need Jesus and Rafinha now and hope they're our next signings. I do think Jesus will be our next signing. That could be done this week. The others will be very, very hard. But that is the latest. Fabio Vieira has finally been announced. Those are 2 signings. Fabio Vieira, one of them. Marquinhos was the other. By the way, we've not even talked about where Marquinhos is going to fit. You know, Marquinhos is also an Arsenal player who was signed this transfer window. Where the hell is he going to be playing as well? That is another player who plays on the right side. So where is he going to be playing? Maybe just the Carabao Cup, I don't know, because it's also super quality, man. Super, super quality. Let me see. HJ90, man. I thought I saw my own things. Thank you for coming on. His physicality concerns me, says HJ90. So for those who are joining right now, do you think his physicality, does the physicality concern you? Because he looks very small, as people have said. Look at his size. People are saying he's very small. So do you think he's going to be able to play in the Premier League? Or are you talking about, wait, let me just confirm that. I don't know if you're talking about HD Marquinhos or this guy, but anyway, I have seen people complaining about his physicality, but you don't have to be big to be great in the Premier League. I mean, people like Podence at Wolves is not big at all. So, and he still does well. I mean, the players like Wilshere at Arsenal aren't big. Those players were not big at all, and they still did very well. There's a lot of tiny players who impress. You don't have to be the size of Crouch to impress. As long as you're good, man. Those smaller players are the ones who are very technical and very skillful. Send Marquinhos on loan, HJ90 says. So who would you rather keep, Pepe or Marquinhos? Because I feel like Pepe is the one who's going to go. And then because these guys are young, so we're going to stick with them to build the squad around them. And we already have a lot of players on loan as well. We don't even know where Nelson is going to fit. Reece Nelson. Maitland-Niles is here still. Hector Bellerin is still here. So that is a lot of transfers out that we still need to do. So I really don't think Marquinhos will go unless the only number of months he can go out for is maybe until January and then come back. But then all these competitions that we're playing between August and the World Cup, those are a lot. Carabao Cup, Europa League, so they'll probably be needed. The problem with January is that and another thing that I forgot to mention about Osimhen is that he goes at Tajuddin, he goes for the African Cup of Nations. I'm really not a fan of losing like 6-7 players during the African Cup of Nations. That's January. We are playing against Tottenham and Man United. So if you lose your 2-3 best players again, slight concern. Canon Forrest says, sorry to push on this, Glenn, but with the squad building up now, do you see Jacques as a starter or on the bench? I do see him, I still see him starting for some reason. I have no idea why, but I do feel like the managers really like him. I'd not be surprised at all if we sign Tielemans and they play 50% of the games. I'd not be surprised at all. I've always been saying, just like the way we wanted Bissouma, the manager never wanted Bissouma or the board. Just like we want Xhaka to go, I don't think the board has ever even thought about it, let alone even selling him. Like we've been close to selling these players like 3 or 4 times, but we've never really gone through with it. That means they really want Xhaka to stay. Didn't Xhaka signed a new contract last season, didn't he? So I don't think he'll be leaving. I think he'll be here. And I think he'll be playing 50% of the games. And that is why I feel like Arsenal are not pushing that much for Tielemans like they are for Jesus and Rafinha. I do feel like Jacques is still going to be here until he retires, man. Let's just be prepared for that. Let's just forget about selling Jacques. Let's just hope we do get a better players around him. I don't think he will be leaving, man. Listen, if we do sell him and get enough money for him, I'll be like, great. You've been here since 2016. It's time to move on. How many players do we still have from the Wenger era? Xhaka, Holding, Leno, El Neni, Maitland-Niles, and Ketia. I hope those are all. Like those are 6 players. I don't think we still should be having players from their era from back then. Like Chelsea when they had Mourinho in 2015. How many players who are there are still there now? Hazard is gone, Pedro is gone, Courtois is gone, Willian is gone. All those players are gone. So I don't think we should be having those players at the moment. But I don't know. Holding could end up leaving, but we've given Ketia and El Neni new contracts. So sell Pepe, sign Rafinha, loan Marquinhos. So we'll have Rafinha and Saka on the right. And then who would you be starting, HJ? Saka or Rafinha? That's the other thing, because I said Saka's been our best player the last 3 seasons. Can you really put him on the bench? HD90 says sell Granit. And a lot of people would say that. I like the present for good news that you give us. Thank you, Caleb. Another AFCON? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because the AFCON that was held this year was supposed to be held last year, but it was postponed because of COVID. So instead of being played in 2021, it was played in 2022. So it was supposed to be played in 2021 and 2023, but 2021 was postponed to 2022. So there's 2022 now and 2023. So it's back-to-back AFCON, and then after 2020, it's going back to 2 years again. There is another AFCON. So there's another AFCON right after the World Cup. So how long will even Partey be fit, man? Will Partey be fit for the World Cup, the Premier League, the Europa League, and also the AFCON? that is also why we need a midfielder for sure. I don't think he will be fit for all those games, man. The AFCON qualification is already on HD. I think they've played like 2 games or something. That's the game where Nigeria beats a country 10-0, and Osimhen scored 4 goals. When should we expect Jesus at Arsenal? Hopefully this week. Leno was Emre, was he? I can't even remember. Because we had Czech, and then he should be like around 2018, right? Yeah, I think it probably was Emery. So yeah, we still have like 5 players from Arsene Wenger's era. I remember Leno coming in at Arsenal. He didn't play like the first 3 games, and then Czech, he replaced Czech after the first 3 games. Like maybe 1 year after Wenger left. Rafinha starts, Saka bench. Interesting, man. That's why we are signing tons of midfielders to cover Partey. Which midfielders, though? We've not signed any at the moment. We just have El Neni. El Neni is going as well. Okay, the qualification is not yet up, but you do expect Ghana and Egypt to qualify. If they qualify, both of them go. Lokonga has had a lot of people asking for Lokonga to go out on loan, so I don't know, man. Hopefully, you do get Tielemans through the door, because if you have World Cup and the African Cup of Nations, is Partey really going to be fit? I really don't think so. It would be a miracle. Where it says big up stuff for the news. Thank you very much. So that's the latest. Hopefully, we do sign another player by the time we do get by the time this week ends. Hopefully, we have gotten Jesus through the door. That is what I want. As I said, you don't have to chase 2 rabbits at the same time. Let's just get one done with first, and then you go for the others, because it would be a nightmare if both Rafinha and Jesus don't join Arsenal. It's going to be a nightmare. I think I'll cry on stream. I think I'll literally cry. Abdul Razak says Saka understands the team better than Rafinha, so definitely Saka should start, says Abdul Razak. And he's also been our best player the last 3 seasons. So I don't know which kind of message that pushes if you have a best player for 3 years and then you just put him on the bench. I'm sure he will understand, because Rafinha is more experienced, but they'll still find a spot for him, I'm pretty sure. Saka is still my best in that position. Saka is still my best in probably every position at Arsenal. As I always say, if Saka has the ball, I feel like something is going to happen. And that is a feeling I only had when we had Alexis Sanchez. That was 5-6 years ago. When we had Theo Walcott like 10 years ago, and we had Thierry Henry. Those were the only players that every time they had the ball, I was like, I think something is going to happen. Walcott's pace was very dangerous. Every time Thierry Henry has had the ball, he knew like something was going to happen. And Alexis Sanchez, I think Saka is the first one I've really had that feeling with since those players. Lokonga, Xhaka, possible Tielemans, Vieira, and Odegaard can cover El Neni and Partey. So yeah, that is another reason why Xhaka will not go. So I don't think Xhaka will go because of those that AFCON and also the World Cup coming on. Unless we hear about any other midfielders from now. I really wanted this guy from Lazio. Why is his photo? I'm looking for his picture. I really wanted this guy from Lazio, Milinkovic-Savic. He is very good. He plays almost every single game for Lazio. He scores goals. He assists. He's very good defensively. He plays in that Xhaka role. This is a guy I really wanted. If we don't get Tielemans, this is the guy I would really, really want at Arsenal, Milinkovic-Savic from Lazio. Alexis was different class, man. I really hated the way he left Arsenal, but man, Sanchez, even away games, like when we played West Ham, Stoke, Alexis Sanchez was so good, man. That is how I feel about Saka as well. I don't feel like that about any other player. Saka doesn't get near Alexis. Yeah, definitely not yet. Not yet. Alexis like carried us for like 3-4 seasons. We should have won that 2016 Premier League. I feel like these players really deserve to win that Premier League, Ozil and Sanchez that season. But then again, we had Giroud, who I don't think Giroud was a bad player at Arsenal. He scored more than 100 goals, but that particular season, he kind of let us down. And that is what I said like 3 days ago. That has always been the problem with Arsenal. When we had Fabregas, Kleb, Rosicki, Walcott, all these very good midfielders, we didn't have a good defense. We had Sylvester, we had Senderos, we had goalkeepers like Lehmann. Lehmann was approaching his end. He was making mistake after mistake. We had Almunia. When Almunia wanted to be bad, he was really bad, man. If you never got to watch Almunia, man, you need to go and look for the highlights, and you need to get over-the-top counter medicines while you watch his highlights, because you're going to get sick when you watch Almunia. like those players that I'm mentioning, that is why one of the reasons why we didn't actually end up winning a Champions League in the 2000s. Almunia is one of the reasons, because he couldn't save something easy from Belletti. Would have had that Champions League. Those guys would not have been trolling Arsenal for not winning the Champions League. So if I skip that rant, sorry for ranting about Almunia. That time we had very many good midfielders, and even the strikers Van Persie and Adebayo were scoring goals, but we didn't have defenders. Then we had very good defenders. When you got Koscielny and Vermaelen, they were very good for like 1-2 seasons. Szczesny was good as well a bit there, but then we didn't have any midfielders. That is the time now we had Denilson and those kind of players. Then fast forward a few years later, we had Alexis Sanchez, Ozil, Cazorla, but we only had Giroud as a striker, no one else. A couple of years back, we had Bentner and Shamak. That's the problem. Now, through 2-3 years ago, we had Aubameyang scoring goal after goal. We had all this, Lacazette was the new signing. He was scoring goals in the first season, but we didn't have a good goalkeeper, or we didn't have a good defender. I want us to sign all these players in the same transfer window. Let's get a defender, a goalkeeper, a striker, a midfielder, all in the same window. Obviously, we do have Ramsdale, so the other positions, so that we can have all these players at the same time. But when I start thinking that we didn't win the league because we only signed Peter Cech in the 2015, that's the reason why I didn't win the Premier League that season. It still hurts me a lot, man. It still hurts me a lot. Hello, Glenn and chatroom. Hi, Gary. Hope you're doing well. HJ says Jesus, Rafinha, Tillemans, Lisandro would be a good window, very good window if you throw in Marquinhos and Vieira into that one. Very, very good side. Window. In hindsight, Leno probably been our best keeper in Emirates era. Leno. If Ramsdale replicates that form this season, I think he already goes above Leno. If he replicates that form that he had last season, I think he would be above him. But Leno's been a very good goalkeeper for us. I don't know. I don't know if you guys liked Szczesny. I don't think we had any other good goalkeepers. Lehmann during the Emirates era was terrible. Almunia was very, very bad. Szczesny had a lot of drama. Ospina was very tiny to be a goalkeeper. He couldn't handle anything from a corner, from a free kick. So Leno, I'd say is in the top 2 probably. Alexis is one of the best players Arsenal have ever had. Now, Vincent, I did say that, but someone was telling me, what, are you including Alexis Sanchez? I did say Alexis Sanchez is in my top 10 Arsenal players of all time. I did say that, and someone was like, all time? Like with the Henrys and Ian Wrights and all these players that you had, Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp, and you're going to put Alexis in the top 10? Yes, Alexis was very good. For those seasons, he was carrying us. Like, he would score hat-tricks by himself, like away at West Ham and Leicester. Great. That season where Leicester won the league, they lost 3 games, and 2 of them were because of Alexis Sanchez. Remember that. This is a good point you make, Glenn. Players who make things happen when they are on the ball. Yeah, we never have a lot of that. Rafinha is one of those players. Zaha at Crystal Palace is one of those players. Who else am I forgetting? Just technically gifted players, those kind of players. Players that you like, Saint Maximin. Yeah. Tomiyasu is a very good defender, but you saw what Saint Maximin can do to you. You saw what he did to him. He's a very good player. Imagine if we bought Aubameyang in 15-16. If we bought Aubameyang in 2015-2016, we would have won the league that season. We definitely would have, because I think those 2 seasons between 2015 and 2017, he fired in like 80 goals for Dortmund or something. If he was at Arsenal, we would have won the league that season for sure. So this season, I'm hoping we can get all those players at the same time, not one, and then we wait for January. And then by the time we sign Rafinha or Tillemans in January, Saka is already leaving Arsenal. I don't want that, man. I still look at the squad and cannot say they are world class. None of them get into a Liverpool or Man City team. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't think right now, since they've bought strikers, City and Liverpool, I definitely agree with that. Would adding the likes of Tillemans and Rafinha change that canon fodder? Which kind of players are you looking for to be world class? Because that is very, very high. That's like Mbappe and Haaland level. Ospina cult hero for the cup final. For sure. Even Fabianski won us a trophy. I never forget about players who won us a trophy. Fabianski, Ospina, all these players who saved penalties for us to win trophies, I definitely always will remember them. Both of them, that's very good players. Saka is our best player to start next season, says Murphy. And that is why I think we'll go for Jesus first instead of Rafinha. Martinelli is like that as well. Something could happen. He's very is South American style. He plays like the likes of Carlos Tevez and Suarez. Like he's very energetic and he'll not ever never ever give up. But in terms of just skill, cutting onto your left foot, shooting, I think he has that. I mean, we've seen him carving in some shots sometimes and hitting the post. Just a bit of improvement, he will be really, really good. I feel like we really missed Martinelli like for 2 years, 1 year with the injury and then 1 year was on the bench. I was really grateful that he did play last season. Is there any chance for us to sign Jesus? Yeah, there's an 85% chance of us signing Jesus. The others, I'm not sure at all. So thank you guys for joining. We've been going for 1 hour. Let's hope we do hear about these players very, very soon. If you're watching this on YouTube, a link on the up in the YouTube card right now, how Arsenal could line up with both Fabio Vieira and Marquinhos. If you're watching on Facebook, follow the page, and I'll definitely catch up with you guys on the next one.